Hello, everyone, and welcome to our talk. I'm Natalia, this is Frédéric, and we are data scientists at Airbus. And today we will be talking about how we are building a new generation by promoting InnerSource for GenAI at Airbus. And if you're puzzled by the spelling of the word generation, it will become more clear in a second. But before I get there, just a reminder of who we are. We are a global aerospace pioneer. So we build aircraft, we build helicopters. We are also active in the defense and space area. And we are a worldwide company. Our locations span 180 locations worldwide. We have around 160,000 employees as of 2025. Okay, so it's a new statistics, I guess. And so you can imagine the scope of the company and how difficult it is to introduce new software in such a global company. And now with the advent of GenAI, it's now in full power, we also face this challenge, how we introduce GenAI at our company and how we help our business users understand and see and the value of it and basically build their applications with this technology. And so the word that you saw before, generation, has in it the word gener, which is the number, term for our project. So it consists of GenAI and Airbus, naturally. And this is a company-wide initiative, and part of it is the serverless cloud platform that we built for AI and GenAI applications, which is a safe, compliant, and sustainable way to build AI applications in Airbus. We have a lot of business users, business teams that build their applications on this platform. And the main goal from our side to them is to help them accelerate the development of this technology at their respective domains and their respective use cases. Also our main motto kind of is experiment fast and fail fast. So we provide templatized sandboxes for business users so that they can build their applications quickly and understand if it provides value to their use cases. And if not, then they get trashed and the new project can be started. And this platform is also production grade. That means that after your experimentation, you can quickly go into production, which of course is super important with the technology such as GenAI, because things become obsolete quickly and you have to have fast iteration cycles. So this is possible by such a federated organization. So we, the two of us, represent the core team, which is the center of excellence that you can see on the slides. So we produce they provide the platforms, we produce the templates, the best practices, the trainings, and so on. And our business users interact with each other in the so-called pods. So we call them pods. This stands for production-oriented development. So these are business teams. These are environments which work close to the data, close to the use cases, to understand the value of GenAI, if this is there or not for their purposes. And this collaboration, as you might already anticipate, works with help of InnerSource, of course. So our goals here is to enable shared culture, the same values, the hands-on mentality, and of course, sharing. So in terms of sharing and in terms of like the intensity of the scope of InnerSource in this project, it's of course varying depending on where you are. So if you're in the business team or in the core team, then this intensity is higher. And below, like the foundation of the platform and the foundation of this collaboration is, of course, standing on the shoulders of the cloud teams, of the cybersec teams, connectivity, DevOps. So this is not InnerSource that much. but we will be concentrating on the top 2 parts in our presentation today.
Yeah, exactly. Peter Giese mentioned the Conway law in his opening keynote, and that was my biggest fear. I'm sick of the Conway law. I deal with it on a daily basis, and we wanted to show a unified face to our business users. So when you have so many stakeholders, it's not that easy, actually. You know the classical way to deal with a feature request in such big team. So either you wait for it, or you work around it, or you escalate through management, and you waste a lot of time doing that. So obviously, InnerSource will not completely remove that, but at least we hope it will smooth things, and at least we can give a unified face to our business users. So at Airbus, we have 2 licenses for 2 kinds of InnerSource software. One is community-owned, so that's basically a software open source, InnerSource, by a developer on his own, and then it's picked up or not by others. So it basically belongs to anyone who contributes to it. And typically, those are like small enablers, small technical enablers, assets that ease developers' lives. So you will not resolve, improve Airbus business with that, but it is at least our daily life. So for bigger assets, so the software that we deploy in our production environment, you still need a core team responsible for developing and maintaining, basically the guy on call when there is a problem. And for that, we have a second license for core team-owned software. So there is still one core team responsible for it, but they decide to open up the development internally to their users, to their other stakeholders in the IT world, or maybe to other affiliates and divisions that have a similar setup. So the idea is to increase your user base. So you usually increase your team revenue. You share the maintenance cost across more people, and of course, as your test coverage increase, you usually see many quality improvement. So the GenAI project falls into this second category of core team-owned software. So InnerSource is still not very known at Airbus. Not many people know the word InnerSource. Many are doing it without knowing what is InnerSource. So we kind of made a manifesto, internal one, just to remind them about the core principle of InnerSource. So at Airbus, we do a meeting for everything, and we try to say maybe you need to emphasize more on documentation, so documentation of our meetings. Then we have findings around communication, decision-making, and also the way developers are working together. So when we welcome new core contributors, new core maintainers, we are strict about having a mentorship mindset. Instead of auditing what contributors are getting out, we should welcome them and give them nice feedback and mentor them to reach the quality we want from them. So that one was really important for all core maintainers. So basically, we will go through all those items and see how we implemented them in the GenAI project. So first one about documentation. Basically, when you build a platform, you build it for hundreds, if not thousands, of users. So you can expect a lot of support to do. And the best support is just read the manual. And in order to do that, you need people to write the manual. So it's quite challenging in this field because our dependencies change every week. And not just the open source dependencies that we are using, but also the cloud platform that we are using is getting built. So we have long builds. And we try to find ways to nudge our developers to write the documentation. So at some point, we set up a documentation Friday, where we would say to our developers, it's Friday, don't deploy, but please reflect on what you've done this week and write the documentation about it. So it was a major fail, mostly because I always forgot to send the email. Then we try humor, I will show you after. We have a documentation contribution guidelines where we try to put some humor to at least make our developers smile and maybe nudge them into writing the documentation. So at the beginning of the project, it was clear that we needed a technical writer to actually start from scratch with a clear documentation that will be leveraged by our users. It was me, a human, and now we are leveraging AI, of course. But when we have reached the point of quality we wanted, it was smoother. So here you can see the number of code commit and documentation commit, and you can see that the documentation commit is sustained all along the life cycle of the product, not just well, from time to time. So here are my made-up quotes. So I apologize for it. So I try to put some inspiring quotes into the world of famous and inspiring people. So for instance, Albert Einstein said, if you don't document your code, you're basically saying, I'm too busy to care about the people who use my work, which I think is a nice quote. So I put stuff like this all along just to make our developers laugh. And now, on the second communication topic.
Yes, so communication is key in making this a success. And we deliberately decided to go against the ticketing system. I mean, our cloud team has a ticketing system, but we as providers of these templates and general support on the platform, we don't. So we're using our chat room instead with a very clear threading structure. So here, what is key is enforcing the code of conduct and communication guidelines. So we have to remind people every time that they should keep their communication organized for the benefit of everyone. But it works. One huge benefit of the system is that it serves as a passive documentation. I think it was also mentioned a while ago that, yeah, the conversations between the developers actually are super useful. And this is also how we see it. And we use it also as a source to augment our static documentation, I would say, so our docs afterwards. And we see that the community contributes more and more. So it's not only us, the central team, like serving as a bottleneck in answering all of those to all of those requests, but it's also the community members who jump in and help their peers. So it's kind of a improvised Stack Overflow for our platform. What we also do is we organize demos every second week, where it's on one hand the central team sometimes presenting some new things, some new templates that were implemented, but it's also the business users who share what they've built with the platform and engage in discussions around technology. A great thing that has emerged is the business-led hackathons. So this is kind of how the business is also giving back. They organize hackathons. These hackathons are super useful to familiarize the developers, like help them learn more about the platform, and we as core members support them. And we've also introduced contributor awards to show recognition to the most active members of our community. And this is also a great motivating thing for the developers to stay engaged. And one more thing to mention here is, of course, clear structures, right? Governance. So when you have these chat spaces and everything, you have to have structures so that it works. But it's also where digital innovation can help you. For us, it was relatively easy because we had the opportunity to build our platform from scratch. We used this opportunity to, for example, set up the code repository structure. So it's also a new system. So there's a system for code, for contributing code, which is open, like read only for everyone by default. So it promotes transparency and easier knowledge sharing because everybody can just access everybody else's code.
No, sorry. And now, so 2 items around decision making. So asynchronous communication around synchronous. So here you can see the timeline of number of committers on the repo. So you can see in a year and a half, we multiply by roughly 5 the number of committers. And actually, we had 2 stages in the project. So at the beginning, it was like mostly or only the core team. So we quickly settled down on some part of the platform. We knew what the others were doing, so we had very few synchronization meeting, and we would rely on the code hosting platform for collaboration. And it was quite fast and efficient. But as we were welcoming new contributors, we had more topic to manage, more issues to manage, and maybe less time for coding. And we needed to make the issues that were in our head, we needed to be more transparent about it. So we kind of switched to a more light agile framework where we will do more synchronization meeting with visual Kanban, just to bring this transparency. And it's also the way of working used at Airbus everywhere, so people were familiar with it, so it will fit our culture more. So now it's working quite well, although it's a bit less open sourcey, but still working well for us. And on the second topic is more for strategic consensus. So we had used governance from PyTorch, which is one of the 2 major deep learning framework in the Python ecosystem. So we have pod maintainers, so use case maintainers, basically, and us, core maintainers. And we will meet in a so-called technical oversight committee, which is the final decision maker, taking contribution from both the core team and the users. So the TOC also had 2 lives. So first, as it was only the core team, we would really do some technical oversight, so reviewing open pull requests and talk about deep technical questions, but we wanted to have more contributors. So we marketed the TOC, and we had not many people joining. So we fetched them. We went to the guy we gave an award to, and we say, do you want to join the TOC? And they did come, and they stay. But here, our user base is more wide in terms of skills. We have people only using like low-code tool, for instance. So it's become less technical. So the name is maybe wrong now. It's no longer a technical oversight committee. It's more like a chat space where we get feedback from our user. We share with them the roadmap. There have been tons of good ideas that came up from TOC meeting just to drive the evolution of the platform. And this is kind of unique at the moment at Airbus, this kind of space. So here I can share a few breakdown about the new generation we try to build. You can see the breakdown of committers on the left pie chart. So obviously the core team is still the biggest contributor, but it's not even half of it. Then we have the digital team, so basically our infrastructure team from cloud cybersec, who are indeed contributing to it, even if we wanted to do more InnerSource with them. And then we have all our user team, and you can see the makers, basically R&T and engineering, where you have a lot of geeks there contributing to the team. Then we are also interested in contractors. So contractors have no incentive to contribute to InnerSource. They're just there to deliver their project, basically. We still have a few, and we are changing that. We are making them more and more incentivized into contributing to InnerSource through the main contract we have with them. So all in all, I think we got good feedback from our users.
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, of course, this feedback pertains also to the whole platform. So it's not only the InnerSource part of it, but the good feedback that we get on the platform is also can be attributed and is attributed to the InnerSource part, because what people appreciate most from what we got was the documentation. They find it super good. The help from the chat room and the communication in general, the support that they're getting, the opportunity to upskill cross-company, so to learn from your peers across different divisions and domains. the collaborative part, the collaborative experimentation. And yeah, people are also interested in joining the TOC, so we actually see the interest there. And yeah, one kind of an experience is also very nice to hear that people enjoy working on this project. And one super cool feedback that we got was actually from another team also having a platform themselves, and they asked us, how are you doing it? So basically, how are you managing to onboard so many developers in such a short time? So yeah, we also attribute it to the success of the InnerSource spirit.
Yeah, and we also learned quite a lot along the way. So of course, we were in a favorable case. We were building a platform, not a standalone software, so where there was more benefit from reuse in a platform. And of course, everybody was interested in the tech. Before our platforms, there was a lot of shadow IT around this. So when there was like a compliant way to use the tech, people would jump on it. And we had a lot of makers in the business joining the platform. So we had a pool for contribution that was huge from day one. However, we still have a long growth. I think we're only reaching the top of the tip of the iceberg. It's still very new to people that were working. For instance, when we ask people to do a patch because they had identified an issue and the solution, they are like, but I'm not gonna do your work, or they're like, on which cost center should I book my hours? And this is something that is still surprising, and we need to change that. And finally, we have users around the world where the IT system can be a bit different depending on the divisions, on the affiliate company, on the region. So we had a lot of issues that were not in our scope, but we had to manage because they were not able to use our platform. And since we had built a community, people were sharing there, and we ended up having a solution that would work for everybody as a community was growing. But you had to go deep into your user infrastructure to do that. So we hope you appreciated our return of experience, and we got lead tech question. Thank you.